So Weapon Mayhem just dropped an overhaul update where you can buy characters and each character has unique stats and very expensive. You're probably trying to save money, so I'm gonna show you the stat of every character in case you want the specific one that matches your skills. The first character we have is Newbie, the starter character. Has 10% slingshot damage and 5% bad damage. Bad damage is kinda bad, so let's look at slingshot. Normally it deals 5 damage. With the boost it deals 6. 1 extra damage. It might look pointless, but it's much better than what it looks like. Because of the high fire rate, it'll be much bigger than what you think. Let's get into interesting characters. The first one we have is Zombie. He has plus 5% dodgeball damage, plus 10% knuckles damage, 70% resistant to poison, 10% slingshot damage, and not a very good immunity to burn. However, these three are the most important ones, including the knuckles damage. It does really notable damage. Slingshot is the same, resistant to poison you just take less damage from it. I think 1 extra damage. With this boost equipped, the first hit deals 26, the second 70, and the third 30, dealing a total of 73 damage, which is really good for Knuckles. Without the stat, the first attack will deal 23, the second 15, and the third 27, dealing a total of 65, an 8 damage gap between the stat and without it. Next character is Shedletsky. He's basically really good with classic weapons, but not really fond of banhammer and poison. The most interesting stat is the sword with 10% extra damage. Normally, the sword deals 25, with Shedletsky it deals 28. What about the longevity? The longevity deals 40 damage normally, 30 from close. With the ability, it deals 44, extra 4 damage. It's not really that bad, it's just something extra. Our next character is Bucket, plus 10% cannon damage, plus 10% sledgehammer damage, 20% resistant to poisoned, and 10% Morningstar damage, and 20% weaker to burn. The most noticeable difference is with Sledgehammer. Normally, the first attack of a Sledgehammer will deal 38. With the boost, it will deal 42 damage, 4 extra damage. The cannon will also start dealing 72 damage, 7 extra damage from the original 65 damage without the boost, which is not bad at all. Our next character is the Bloxinator, plus 10% minigun damage, plus 5% rocket launcher damage, plus 10% paintball gun damage, and sword damage, resistant to poison, tranquilizer damage, and doesn't like shock. The most notable, minigun, absolutely notable. Without the boost, it deals 6 damage per shot. With the Bloxinator, it deals 7. Combine it with the fire rate, and the damage is unreal. Now let's look at another character. It's called Cowboy. He's just a really big fan of guns. The most notable stat is the shotgun. The shotgun will deal 60 wall damage if there is no stat. But with the Cowboy, it deals a total of 72 damage. 12 extra damage, which is a lot. The next character is called Bluescreen. There isn't much you can like about it besides the hyper laser, which has an extremely good benefit. The reason why it is so notable is because the hyper laser with this stat deals 35 damage, killing the opponents in only 3 shots, instead of the typical 4 shots and 30 damage per shot. I'ma be real with you, this is still kinda useless. If you didn't know, shots can ricochet. The creator added a really cool mechanic. If you get hit by a ricochet shot, it will deal 40, so you can kill them in 3 shots without the character too. This character also has something that no other character has. Whenever you get hit, your face will change. Only this character has such thing, which is really cool if you ask me. Another mythical character is called Mafioso. This is his stats. There isn't really much I can show you since I already showed you minigun. The other ones are also just extra damage. I have left the best one for last. Introducing Doombringer. Everything about him is notable. Molotov, Crescendo, Banhammer, and his resistance. They are just way too good. Let's see Molotov. It deals 4 damage per tick, 1 extra damage than the original 3, and because of it constantly dealing damage, it's much better than what it sounds like. Because of Doombringer, Banhammer deals 42 damage on the first hit, and on the second it deals 54, a total of 96 damage, 4 less damage from being a 2-hit weapon. This is way too OP, making this character single-handedly the best character in the game. A character that was added the last second is called Astronaut. This is his stats, which is decent. It's like a Bluescreen, but not the best. And another character also got added last second, and this is their stats, which is actually kinda good in my opinion. There is a new setting in the sound tab called Dialogue Volume. If you didn't know, characters have voices, but I don't want to spoil them for you. I think it's better if you find them out yourself.